In this video, we're going to highlight how to connect Hex to AtScale. We'll start off with adding a new project in Hex. We'll go ahead and give that project a name for simplicity's sake of AtScale. And we need to create a connection to our deployed semantic object in AtScale. We're going to use our Postgres endpoint to do so. So we'll fill out the connection credentials inside of Hex. We can grab them from AtScale. So we can navigate back to AtScale, take a look at our deployed catalogs, and grab the information needed in order to fill that connection screen out. So we'll put in our hosts, we'll add our port, and lastly for the database, this is going to be the deployed catalog name, which you can see at the end of that JDBC string in the UI. From there, we'll have to add our username and password that we have dedicated for this integration. And that's it. We don't have to add any other changes to the Hex connection. We can go ahead and hit create, and that will create our connection via the Postgres interface. Now we'll set some context for Hex to say we want to use that AtScale endpoint, and we'll allow Hex to bring back the metadata for this. This will bring back all the different columns and the data types, so we can start to use that inside of Hex and build out our analytics and our dashboards within the Hex platform. We'll use our VentureWorks model. We can see we have several models that have been published. And we'll see on the right-hand side that list of columns and a brief preview of some of the data. So now that we have our data connected in Hex, we want to go ahead and start to work with it. So first, we'll ask to get a chart and a table for our total internet sales separated by category, and we'll specify that specific model we want to work with. Hex will go ahead, do its magic, bring that back. We'll see the SQL query being generated, and we'll get the net result of what the different values are that come back from the query, as well as a predefined chart that we can leverage. In this case, I'm going to change that over to a pie chart just so I can see the data in a way that I wish. And there we go. Next, we want to add another cell to this. We want another chart. So I want to get that same total internet sales, but this time I want it by category and by country. So I'm going to add additional criteria to this based upon what that model has. And again, I'm going to tell Hex what I want to bring it from, which model I want it to introspect and query from. It'll go through the same process. It'll run that query, create it for you. You can validate that. You have the ability to modify it as you need. But what you get the net results is you have the data that will get displayed as well as your chart that you can leverage in order to display that data. So now we're good to go. Everything looks good to me. I can add those things to my app. And then lastly, I can publish that app. So just like you would in your any other Hex interface, you can publish those. It'll establish the ongoing query so that you can dictate how often that's refreshed. But that is all being pulled live via the Postgres connection from AtScale and displayed in Hex. Back in AtScale, you can actually see in the query window, those queries have been run. You can see the inputs and the outputs, the time spent. And this is where you'll see the savings over time of how fast that AtScale can make these queries behave at the speed of thought.